everybody, and welcome to the Macho Show! I'm feeling extra macho tonight. How about you, Mad Cat? Are you feeling macho?
Ooh, yeah, brother.
Okay. You better be. It's the Macho Show.
Macho man. I want to be a macho man. Oh, wait, that's not macho
great.
at all.
Oh, hey, I'm macho enough for the both of us. It's okay. Oh, welcome to the Macho Show. We are here today on this lovely Thursday that it was Thursday, and yay! But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Today we're gonna random things, I suppose. We have a guest lined up, and that would be interesting. But yeah, I hope everybody was lovely. I had a Christmas stream. If you haven't watched that, go check that out. How was your Christmas, my cat?
It was all right. Most of the presents I got, I actually got like between Thanksgiving and the second week of December. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I really love the presents I got, but
right. Yeah, that's what usually happens to me. Thankfully,
uh-oh, she's broken up. Damn you, internet, you win again. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, hopefully she disconnects, reconnects, and there's no problem. If not, then I'm only going to be here for 10 minutes before this thing closes out. So let's take some stuff from the chat. How's everyone doing? Oh, shit, I forgot to shill this out to all the places. There we go. So how was everyone's Christmas? I'm an insomniac. What's the best way to bash myself to sleep? Try to read Ayn Rand. That's a good snores fest.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, what the fuck happened? Did you hear anything I was saying?
The last thing I heard was I had a Christmas tree video.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No, because you responded with saying that you had Christmas presents and shit.
Well, yeah, I mentioned that, and then you said something right after that, and then it just sort of froze.
Yeah, I was saying that I was actually patient this year, and I waited until Christmas Day to open my family's wrapped gifts that they sent me. I almost didn't open the box that my mom sent me, but she was like, no, you have to open it. There's food in there. I was like, okay. And then I ate the entire box of gingerbread cookies that she made for me before Christmas. They were really good.
And speaking of drunk, today's show is sponsored by a big-ass bottle of Moscato.
I wish it was sponsored. Hey, stream goal of $20. If we reached a $20 stream goal of paypal.me/Medusa's Gorgons, then I'll put my foot in my mouth.
I remember I get 1% of that, so that's like 20 cents for me. So
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's to even out the wage gap.
You're so evil.
But yeah, I hope everybody had a good holiday, even if they didn't celebrate or didn't do anything special. I worked for a couple hours, which was fun. I got to eat a little bit of food, but tomorrow I get to eat even more food, which will be even better because I'm hoping they will have mashed potatoes and some kind of meat that I can snack on. Oh, I'm excited. And they'll have a lot of alcohol. I had to go to the gas station just to get this here. I was gonna go to the ABC store, but then Mad Cat reminded me that we had a show. Damn it!
Well, like I said, holidays makes fools of us all.
Exactly. Well, see, I'm gonna make Jello shots for the party tomorrow. It's not really a party. It's just like a family get-together, family gathering, whatever. I almost said family get-togethering. Oh, so yeah, that'll be interesting and delicious. I really want food. I'm so hungry. Oh.
That's how poor she is, everyone. So give her $20.
Yeah, and I can go get a TV dinner and feed my little ding ding. Actually, I decided to call him Lil D. Lil D up in here.
Little D. Well, it was funny because I was watching a show with my mom. It's called The Ranch on Netflix. It's a pretty funny show.
Oh,
but
yeah,
there's a character on there. She basically, the town found out that she was dating her ex-boyfriend after breaking up with her fiance, and she's like, well, I should just go around with a big A on my chest. And what's his face? I forget his name specifically, but he's like, why would you walk around with your initial? And my mom's like, yes, that's right. When you commit adultery, you have to wear your initial on your chest. And I'm like, I wish my name was Daniel so I could put a big D on my chest and like, hey, look at my big D.
There we go. One time I made cookies with my friend for her birthday. And she had alphabet, like, cookie cutouts. And I made, like, 2 of each letter. And I took a picture and I was like, I'm eating the D. Oh, dick jokes. Oh, that's what you get on the Macho Show. Oh.
So are we ready for my little tangent?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. Get down with your bad self.
Get down with my bad self.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell that was. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Fail music. Gotta love it. All right. So we just passed the first of the Lonely Guy trifecta, Christmas. And thank God it's over. Just the holidays.
Why was it that bad?
I'm not fat, Albert. So
I said it wasn't that bad. Oh, you're silly.
Said Mad Cat went full fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey. All right, so the first of the trifecta is over. We still got New Year's and we still got Valentine's Day coming up. So I want to say, though, that I think that this show has been a success. No, we don't have 100 people watching us right now. I mostly blame the people in the chat. Share this. Shill us. We want popularity. But no. We've been successful so far because since I've started this, I have spoken to a lot of people out there. A lot of people have come to me and talked to me about some of the issues that they're facing, and many of them are pretty grim. And I'm happy to do it because something that I know from my own life, but I've constantly confirmed talking to other people, is that no one really out there to listen. Most of the people that we try to go to, they kind of have this black or white sort of thinking of, well, it's over with, get over it, move on. It's like you're better off without that situation in your life. And while that's true, you know, situations are more complex than that. We can't just walk it off. I mean, take my own life, for example. I mean, over a year ago, I was abused by a woman who wanted to destroy my life in a single moment. And while I will never see that person again, while I'll probably live a happier life without her in it, it still affects me today. And, you know, I try to talk about it when I can. I do rely on Modern Medusa as a sounding board, and she's been very helpful. And she understands, you know, she just needs to listen to what I have to say. There's no advice to solve my problem. I just want someone to listen. So I've been very privileged, my white male privilege, but I've been very privileged that many of you have come to me to talk about it. And we do want to get all of you on the show. And within 2019, we hope to bring a lot of people on to talk about their stories, whether to talk about the topic on the show or their own story. So I want to say thank you to all of those who have allowed me to hear what you have to say. And I hope that me listening has provided you some comfort.
Mm-hmm. And I did want to say before I forget, I think it was Chris Murphy that sent the email to us. I did look it over. I didn't get a chance to send it to Mad Cat yet, but you know, because of the holidays, we just we didn't quite prepare as much for this show as much as we'd have liked to. So we'll definitely be getting into that on the show, and you know, as soon as we can. It's just been a little crazy. Like I literally forgot about the show until like 7:40.
That's true.
It's
I was
okay.
texting her and she's like, oh, well, I need to go to the liquor store and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you realize we have a show today, right? It's like, is it Thursday? Damn it.
Yeah,
this is
pretty much.
So we apologize, Chris. We do want to get to your email. We do want to read it on the air with your permission, of course. So it was our bad, but we intend to do it. So
yes,
he understands totally.
Very...
Major relief. I thought he was going to hate us. All right.
Oh, come on. I'm sure they understand. We are nice people. We try our best. They know. I mean, shit. We didn't fucking complete a 2019 calendar. I doubt that they're thinking that we're the most the fastest people in the world. Just kidding. But no.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest on today, who has his story of woe that I've been talking to for a little bit. So,
story of woe. Oh, that's sad. But yeah, if anybody else wants to come on the show or email us, the helpmemacho@gmail.com is where you can go.
And if you do just want to talk to me, I'm like the main point man because my life has been really fucked up. So believe me, I will understand. Also, email us, let us know. Facebook message, just like on the show on Vanessa's group page. I have access to that too, so I see all of that. It's a great way to contact us. So,
oh yeah, exactly. But
the way we were talking, it sounded like the end of the stream. I don't know how to take that.
No, we about to. Wait, was that because we were talking about something? I don't know. But no, we're about to have a lovely guest on. I believe I've chatted with him on stream before. I haven't I mean I've commented back and forth with him more than I've actually spoken with him, but yeah, Chris knows this.
So apparently that wasn't a hair at the bottom of my cup, that was a crack. Oh well. No need to cry over wine down the drain or something.
Wait, what? You dumped it down the drain?
I'm not going to drink hair.
You could have poured it into another glass and checked. That's horrible.
Well, I realize that now.
Well, you better drink it all.
It was an $8 bottle. It's not like I wasted that much.
Excuses. I actually do have a hair in my cup, so I just have to drink straight from my can. Oh. I've thought of a clickbait title for this stream, coming out necrosexual. What is necrosexual?
It means you like having sex with dead people.
I thought it was a necrophiliac. Or wait.
Well, that's the description of a person who has, but a necrosexual is a person who identifies as a person who's a necrophiliac.
No! That's like saying pedosexual. Yeah, necrophilia.
Give it time, they will say that.
Has anyone seen the movie what is it? Necromantic? Yeah, that movie. That's a fucked up movie.
So we're waiting on Thiago, who was just in chat a moment ago, so
I'm sure he will join shortly. But until then,
yeah, well, Matt gets it.
I know.
So one of my Christmas presents this year was lightsaber chopsticks. You know, I really hate Star Wars, but I really love lightsabers, so this was a wonderful gift.
Agreed. I don't like. I mean, Star Wars is okay. Like, I can sit through like the newer movies, okay, but yeah, it's not like my favorite. I like lightsabers though, and the look of like some of their like what's it called, BB-8. He's cute.
Lightsaber knitting needles. That would be awesome.
Wait, my lightsaber what?
Knitting needles.
I'm pretty sure those exist. I'm pretty sure you could just use those knitting needles if you really wanted to. They don't have the hooks though.
I also got this shirt.
That's fucking awesome. Let's see. I don't know if I have any of my presents in here. Oh, I got a new phone case. Look at that. Beautiful. And it's even got like a front thing on it. So I won't fuck it up. Again.
Well, one of my presents is I got a tablet, specifically an HT Fire 10-inch.
Ooh, 10 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
I love this thing a lot. So my mother asked me, do I want an Android one or a Fire? And I really thought about the difference between the two. And I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with just an Android. I mean, if I don't like it, you know, maybe like a year from now, I can get myself an actual Android one. But I'm actually very happy with this. So
cool.
And I love this cover too, because when I open it up, it turns on. When I close it, it turns off.
Very nice. Yeah, I got food and some let's see, what did I get? I got I got this. I got Snoopy. My mom sent me Snoopy and let's see, a book, some fucking more food. The best, I think the best present is food. That's my favorite thing. Food and gift cards are the way to go. But also thoughtful gifts are nice as well. Oh yeah, my grandma gave me this really cool looking cup. What?
So apparently Thiago is doing this from his iPad, and he's been clicking on the link, I guess, and it's not opening up. So he's just having some technical difficulties. So
wait, what?
He's just having some technical difficulties. If anyone knows how to open up Hangout on an iPad.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have to either have the Google Hangouts app, or you have to open it in like Safari or something like that. I'm not really sure. I remember I've had problems on my iPhone joining Google Hangouts. So
I don't think I've ever used a mobile connection to connect to Hangout, so I have no idea how you actually do it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you either use the Google Hangouts app or you go open the link from like either in Safari or Google Chrome. I can't remember. One of those. Oh. I got a shirt and money. That's about it. Nothing wrong with that. I got a new t-shirt, 2 pairs of pants, money, and cashews. I got cashews too. New gloves and a hat. Lots of cleaning stuff in my sock. I got socks as well. Some pretty nice socks. They're like double layered. Thanks, Mom.
I also got you some socks.
Oh yeah, you also got me some socks too. I did not forget. I was just thinking about my family's presents only for some reason. But yeah, I enjoy those a lot. I've been trying not to wear them like too often because I don't want them to get worn out. Oh.
I actually also got socks. Let me see if I can find them real quick.
The socks.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper socks, because why not?
Is that your
Yeah, it is.
thing going off?
He says he's logging into Google Hangouts right now, so we'll see if he'll be on soon or not.
Okay.
That's
annoying.
A Notre Dame to blog.
Notre Dame.
You heard some rumors about like Ancestry, DNA, and 23andMe. Like they'll sell your information to like corporations. Be careful with that shit. But I've heard that there's a new one out there. I believe it's called Nebula. And it's supposed to be a lot better than those two because it checks for more things. But all the information is private to you. You can opt to let corporations have your information. And I guess you can get rewarded for it. But it actually uses blockchain technology, the same kind of technology used for like cryptocurrencies. So...
Interesting.
Does it taste like Dr. Pepper? No, it does not.
It's Dr. Pepper scented.
After my feet's been in
it. My feet always smell like Dr. Pepper.
But, you know, the holiday season is a time that reminds me that I really need to get out of here and be in my own place. Please donate to my... Okay, Thiago, I can't really use your email address to bring you in. I send you the link and you connect. I don't know how iPad is supposed to work. I've only owned one Apple product in my life.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to add people. I can try. Hang on a sec. How to add people to Hangout through email. Bottom right, click add. There ain't no add.
There's add apps.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we were actually in Google Hangouts,
invite people.
that would be one thing. But we're in YouTube Hangouts, which is technically a different.
I found something that says invite people.
Okay, let me give you his email address. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
There you go.
I think Medusa got an otter box. Mine got cracked by a dog at the dog kennel I work for. Well, it's not like an otter box necessarily. It's like I guess it's similar to that. It's probably like a cheaper version. But yeah, it's I also work at a dog kennel, so oh, that's how my last phone got broken. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Oh,
Chat.
that chat. Okay, sorry, I already had the thing open. And
I'm not going to dox the person. Jeez.
No, I thought you were sending on a Facebook, butthead. Okay. I don't know if this sends it directly to your email or what, but I did.
Well, if he's on Hangouts, it probably should notify him.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna drink my beer. Macho! Yeah. So, a $25 gift card. I got a $20 gift card on to Amazon, and then that's what I got this with. It's party. I was actually like hoping that I would get something like this, and I let Andrew redeem the gift card on his account, and I was like, you can give me whatever you want.
So I also got myself this. This is a 4 terabyte external hard drive.
Oh boy.
And I got it during Black Friday. Because this is like normally like $200, $300. I got it for like $78.
Nice.
So if you're going to shop for yourself for Christmas, do it during Friday. So
He sent me a message. I don't really know how to respond to the message. I think that's on the actual app, but there should be a way for him to join. I hope. But
I'm hoping so.
Michael Hatfield said hi in the chat. Hello, how are you? Let's see. How many people are watching right now? 11. Cool. You guys should share the stream. And I'll give you a meme. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody forgot, but I made cookies for someone for donating. Because they asked.
There we go.
Hello.
Hey,
About time. I mean, welcome to our show.
How you doing, guys? Finally made some time for you guys, huh?
How are you?
Welcome to the Macho Show.
The what?
The Macho Show.
Oh, there you go, the Macho Show. I just put up the volume. Sorry. Sometimes the things act crazy. So let me go back to the damn.
I don't know. He kind of looks like a sexy macho man.
Oh boy, here we go. Few seconds in, the flirting already starts, Chris. Come on, Chris, you're gonna make me blush already.
Exactly. That's how it is on the Macho
I
Show.
have no shame.
Say what?
We know.
Someone named Janet getting called someone mama.
Do I look
Me?
less attractive with glasses on, guys? Because I've been needing glasses lately. So let's see. Am I more like a Poindexter? Do I fit in the mold now?
You look like the guy from The Flash.
Oh boy, here we go.
First off, fuck you, and yeah, the glasses work for you.
The Indian guy. I don't know what he is.
Okay, Cisco doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah. No. He does sometimes.
He does.
He does.
He wears sunglasses. He's the vibe.
Bitch, I remember I stopped watching that show probably like third season. So I don't even know anymore.
I actually enjoy it. I didn't really care for the feminist episode because that was just all matters horrible. But
oh, God.
the rest of it's good.
I remember
Stop.
Supergirl got really feminist.
See, I really did not enjoy the musical one. And I like musicals.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh God,
but Supergirl didn't get feminist. It started feminist and just never ended.
It started feminist but just never ended.
Oh God.
Let me just pull this thing a little closer because I think that's a little glare from my lamp.
So, for a little bit, Thiago, and your story is not for the faint of heart. But,
say what?
Is there anything? I was saying your story is horrible.
Oh, yes. So I don't know if you have told Vanessa anything yet. I don't know if Vanessa's in the know.
I haven't told her a whole lot. I haven't had a chance to talk to her.
No problem. So, well, it's subjects I want to bring about tonight because I don't know if you guys noticed. I think you probably have. I've been on a hiatus for the last 2 months, so to speak, right?
It's been a good 2 months without you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Come on, Chris. You're gonna make me look like this, buddy. The Old Spice collar. Maybe that's what's working, right? That's what because I used it. Maybe it's working.
Old Spice.
But okay. Basically, it has to do with the subjects I was gonna bring in tonight. I think it's something that is usually rehashed, but I think it has to be emphasized no matter what. I think depending on how we become dormant and docile to certain subjects that should be worrisome. You know, Chris, by the way, let me know if the light glare that you can see in the camera is bothering you guys. You see that in the middle?
It's not too bad.
Well, I have an idea. I think I know how to get rid of it. All right.
Whatever you need to do.
Still, huh?
Don't worry about it, man.
All right. I'll just try to avoid it, I guess. But like I said, the past few months for me have been hell because I've been dealing with some of the issues that I always try to help other men with, that I didn't live myself, but I always had sympathy for them, right? And whenever I would hear stories or read stories in groups, videos, things I would write about in our blog or our posts, never crossed my mind that one day I would be on the receiving end. I'm not saying I'm a perfect guy. I don't think nobody can claim they're a perfect human being. If they act perfect, be very worried because maybe they put on the front. That's the way I say it, right? If you never have controversy or trouble or any type of fights in your relationship, I think you should suspect that a little bit. Maybe there's not a lot of passion there, or maybe the person simply doesn't really care much, right? Because when you care, there are things that you have boundaries and expectations. And expectations are something that can be very bad or very good, or at least something balanced and healthy. But when it comes to me, what has transpired personally for me, of course, I'm not going to say anything. I'll try to be as discreet as possible for the sake of the audience, for the sake of the show. I don't want to bring any trouble to nobody. But what happened was that during my time in my relationship, one of the biggest struggles for us was being together in the same country. And it was tiresome. It's something frustrating, immigration processes. You're trying to look for way here, way there. And then you have the doors are kind of closed temporarily in some ways, right? And then you try to bring another solution, which is here for the time being. But what I did not expect, not in a million years, maybe it was foolish of me, is that the dissolution of the relationship would have happened the way it happened. And I know I'm being very vague, but I would just come out and say something, for example, a type of betrayal of some sort. If you guys can imagine a type of betrayal that would dissolve a relationship, right? I think anybody can do the math here and put two to two together. And when that happened, I already knew it. I just didn't want to come out and say it to the individual. I tried to confront. I tried to see if there was any issues. The individual brought up a bunch of issues that was happening to that individual, and Um, I got mad because they were trying to dissolve the relationship or telling me to go find somebody else because they were going through issues, and maybe they thought I wouldn't want to get a deal because there was something I wanted out of the relationship that this person thought she could not provide anymore. And I said I didn't care about that. You know, my life would be with you. I made a vow that I would be with you no matter what, right? I'm not the type of asshole that I would expect something and then call it quits because nature happened, right? Nature happened, and it was not your fault. I'm not gonna do that. But I already knew something was fishy, and I would try to call out this individual to come out and say it because people were telling me things were happening on social media and Instagram and things like that. And I didn't want to believe it. I thought it was just something, but it was true. And little by little, this person started ghosting me, right? Little by little, like we got in a big fight. Of course, I got mad because I felt that my life was just being wasted and thrown away, our lives together. And having a child together also adds that stress, that anxiety of having somebody dissolve the relationship and you trust in this individual all the time of taking the child away, your child away. And it's hard for a father, any parent, I think. It's one of the most heart-wrenching moments is not only having your lover going away, but also your child. And you got to fight every instinct in your body of just not holding them there in place and letting them go if it wasn't for the circumstances, right? And one of the things that caught me by surprise that eventually when I started arguing with this individual and find out things were happening, start confessing some things, and I got mad about it because I knew that could damage this person. This person started bringing up things of the past. And when they brought these things that happened in the past, they would exaggerate it. And I'll be like, hold on a minute. Not only were those things solved, they didn't happen in the way you're saying right now. So it was like they were rewriting history so they could make a claim of abuse, right? For example, then I can give you more details now, guys. Interrupt me any time you guys want to ask me a question, by the way. Things, for example, I think I told this in a conversation with Chris. Chris has been helping me a lot. Thank you, Chris. By the way, I want to publicly say this to anybody hearing you. You know, it's kind of weird too because we hardly talked, and I looked you up, and we spent like hours talking about the issue. And you try to see things in both ways. You always try to be neutral and unbiased in the sense. You try to look at things in both ways, and I try to be as honest as possible with my faults as well. Right? I try to be open.
Well, my secret is when I'm in listening mode, I'm actually playing Sudoku. So I was kidding.
I'll try that next time. Good advice. But I mean, I'm laughing because I'm trying to distract myself here, and thank you guys for having me. I wish
the humor is the best medicine, much like alcohol.
So basically, this person, and I'll be open. Like I want to be open with the audience here, so they know what the hell is this guy talking about. Being so vague. For example, when this person was expecting the baby, before we even met, she got off an abusive relationship, right? And I was previously in an abusive relationship, probably a few months before we started talking. And my relationship was physically abusive, mentally abusive, filled with comparisons with their exes and this and that. Always full of expectations. Every day was me walking on eggshells in this relationship. And this person would definitely like brag about the fact that she was a woman, would even egg me on to call the cops on her. Like, go ahead, call the cops. Doesn't matter if you got bruises in your mouth and scratches on your face. What do you think they're gonna believe? Right? So finally I managed to get out of that relationship, send that person away, pay the plane ticket and everything. Go away, get the hell out of here, right? Spent that time for recovery, which was about summer 2013, but I broke up with that individual way before too. The relationship was already not going anywhere for the longest time. And she knew it. I let her know. I was very open about that. There was nothing going on. We're just officially together. But so I spent that time to heal. Our friend Prentice was telling me about personality disorders and was the first time I really took, the terms like psychopath seriously, sociopath seriously, because until then I thought psychopaths were just crazy people, right? Serial killers. And he introduced me to other personality types, personality disorder, and I started doing the math. I'm like, she might have one of those, right? She definitely sounds. So I was reading more books in psychology for healing myself as well, finding tools for myself, creating boundaries again. And I found, a lot of answers.
I want to interrupt you just 1 second there. I want to just build off that thought you had. As many people know, I went through a abusive situation about a year ago. And something that became apparent to me, but only after we moved in together, is that she was bipolar. And she's like, yeah, I got discharged from the military because I was bipolar, but I didn't know I was bipolar. And I just made an excuse for it. I'm like, well, she's probably not bipolar. We just throw around these terms all we want just to explain aberrant behavior, but she's cool. I wish I would have just ran out of the store screaming, because we were at Walmart at the time. I'm like, oh my God, she's bipolar. Help. Would have saved me some heartache.
Well, it's because we project some good traits on the individual we're with. And like you said, you try to minimize, you try to minimize what their issue is, because you don't want to believe that a person you have a lot of feelings for would be capable or has these issues, right? Can't be that bad. Come on now. She can be sweet, right? We always think that she can be sweet.
Yeah.
She has
especially in this culture where we automatically believe that women are sweet and submissive and
sympathetic,
easygoing, that if we see anything bad, as an outsider, if we see anything bad, we're automatically programmed to think, well, he must have done something to provoke it.
Yeah.
Or to provoke something against him in any way, shape, and form, for her to take a stance. And I think that's the issue. And like you added to it, you added your own personal experience with that. So when I was ruminating through my mind to basically build up the self-esteem again, because, the only parts I really have low self-esteem in my life was probably like when I was like 14, 15, usually listening to a lot of Linkin Park and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Those very depressive type of music, even though it's very artistically, it's great artistically, but let's be honest, it's very like depressive lyrics. All their lyrics is usually depressive shit. And so I was going through that phase. I'm like, man, I got to stop listening to this crap. That's not when I was back to martial arts, music, poetry, things like that. And I built my self-esteem. And until I met this individual who destroyed my self-esteem in that sense, and I had to build it for the last 6 months, right? And on the last 6 months, I'd say around October 2013, Halloween time, which is kind of ironic that this happened around the same time recently. That's when I started talking to this individual, and this individual was also telling me her story of being with an abusive husband for the last, how many years, over a decade. And kept telling me she wanted out for a long time. If it wasn't for the facts that, she had, how can I say, children or other family members in common, she would not have, stayed so long. And I understood what she meant, but not to the magnitude of her situation, because she dealt with a lot of self-esteem. She dealt with a lot of codependency. She would say, I'm a people pleaser. That's my problem. I try to please a lot of people. I don't look for myself. And then within that parameter that me and her were talking about these things, I would share with her, these things I found out, how to deal with that, right? How to deal with people like that, how you create boundaries, how you try to develop a self-esteem better, because once you establish boundaries and whatnot, you would eventually grow as a person. So all things said and done, fast forward to when we met, was beautiful. Second, like, she came out in the summer twice. I have a lot to thank this individual for, matter of fact. I personally, as a human being, I don't have anything against her. I don't hate her. I don't have hatred in my heart. I thought I would, but I don't. I'm not that type of person. If I hate you, I'll let you know if I hate you, right? I'm very open confrontation. You guys see me on Facebook, or crying out loud. And
Well, I also
So,
want to say, on that note, I don't hate this person either. I mean, when
exactly.
I first saw something was kind of going on, my approach was it's none of my business. You know, if they want me to know, they'll come to me, and you certainly came to me. But you know, while I'm always going to be there for you anytime you need to talk, you know, I think what's cool about you is that you didn't put an expectation on me about
No,
how I deal with her. So I think that was
no.
very classy of you.
Right. I never expect anybody to take sides. Matter of fact, if you saw my post back a month ago, I said when I kind of opened up myself a little bit to what was going on in the situation, what did I
Mhm.
say at the end? I said, I don't want anybody to hate her. I don't want anybody to harass her. I don't want anybody to think that she's, a worthless human being. Matter of fact, if you're still friends with her and you love her, continue the same way. I don't want anything because she has done a lot for me, and I recognize that. And I'm never going to be the type
Mhm.
of person who's just because something happened I'm just gonna forget everything that happened that was good, that was great, and just see an individual with certain pair of eyes. Right?
Mhm.
Now you evil, you my enemy. I don't see people that way. I try like there's some certain people that I did because what
Yeah.
they done in my life. Like my ex, I definitely would see as an enemy who abused me. Like if I met her, I would
Yeah.
just like, if you were a man, I'd probably kill you, kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But her, nah. I recognize the fact that she's the mother of my child. She has done a lot of sacrificing, and nothing can take that away from her.
I do
But
want to say one other thing, and you'll probably get to this point eventually, but I have
yeah,
to say these things while they're fresh in my mind.
okay,
What surprises me in this situation is also what surprised me with the abusive relationship I had over a year ago is that both of these women were those who, well, one was more active than the other, but they were big on men's rights.
right.
That they would really tout about how men needed help and that they, had a voice. And now seeing what they've done, you know, I'm not going to speak for your situation. You're going to do that just fine on your own. But for my situation, I mean, she knows that men get the raw end of the deal, and yet she is still the person that she was. And I think that's going to be a lesson to a lot of men out there because there are women in the men's movement, and a lot of them are good. I'm not MGTOW here, but
Exactly, exactly.
just because you meet a woman and she's in the movement and she sounds like she really cares doesn't mean that she's a girl you should date. Do your due diligence, make
Mhm.
sure you know who she is. Don't just base your feelings on the fact that she says that little boys shouldn't be circumcised or that men get screwed over in criminal courts. Just it's great
Yeah.
that she says that, but that's not all there is to her. So make
No.
sure that you
Right.
really look at her.
Well, and the
Mhm.
point also is, I don't know if maybe my more modern Medusa wants to jump in, and anytime you want to say something, let me know. I know I run my
Yeah.
mouth a lot.
No, no problem. I'm
Right.
listening mostly.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So basically, like in the beginning when I started talking to her, was more of her personal issues, right? Then she would see the post, and like one of the first comments she made when I added her was in a post about false domestic abuse, like allegations, ironically, right? And
Mhm.
she said that it was a person that she knew, that whose wife was basically trying to put her hands on him, called the cops, and the cops basically took her side, right? I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
geez. Like, okay, then I inboxed this person. We clicked it off like this. Like the first time we talked, we clicked off, right? Um, that was, if you know what I mean. I don't need to get too graphic.
Right.
You know what I mean? She thought I was good looking. I thought she was good looking, and things kind of flew off the handle there, if you know what I mean. But we eventually talked about her issues, and she was mounting up the courage to finally call it quits completely in the relationship she was having because it was already, degraded, right, to the point where she saw no return to that. Um, but once she found the courage to finally call it quits, finally be done, and little by little, we were, working through our own things about meeting up and how we're gonna meet and this and that. And I'd say the second time she came over here to the US, that's when we made a decision to have a child together, because she thought that if you're gonna, for real, because it was probably 7 months already into the relationship, and she wanted, and we both wanted, not just her, but we both wanted something, concrete between us. Were there issues during these days? Were there issues in the past? Yes, there were issues that we had to overcome, hurdles that we had to overcome, hurtful things that happen, because when you're helping somebody coping with abuse and codependency, sometimes they'll try to like see the abuser side more than your own side of your help. So there were things that happened there. I don't want to get too descriptive, but there were things that happened there that emotionally, psychologically hurt me a lot. And she thought that, oh my God, if I was you in your place, I'd call it quits and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? That's what she even told me. It's like, if I was in your place, I'd probably call it quits, because I understand why you would have so much hurt over that. So there were hurdles, emotional hurdles, psychological hurdles, and all these little barriers that we needed to basically fix, or, finally put an end to it, to finally move on. We got engaged the second time she came out. There was moments of doubts that I was thinking, how can I be part of this person's life when she has so much happened to her? Like, especially when you're dealing with somebody who has been in a previous relationship, has children from a previous relationship, and you think, how am I going to be part of that world? Am I going to be just some guy in the back burner? Am I going to be somebody at least in the same level? Because you want those securities, like men and women they want to feel like that. People who come out and say that men don't feel insecure in relationships, they're lying. We all human beings, we all have feelings, and there are things that might make us feel insecure about being with somebody. It's not that you don't want to be with that person, but sometimes you feel insecure. And I even brought that up with this individual. She's like, oh, well, I might be pregnant, and you kind of talking like this. I'm like, it's not that I don't want to be with you or take care of the baby. And I think she got triggered because I said the word, like, we don't believe in abortion. Like, I'm not going to get her. Like, no, don't worry. I'm going to say, we don't believe in that. But, but at the same time, just want to make sure that will be part of your life. So we had a talk about it, and she guaranteed me. I made some guarantees for her. And, we made a vow there that no matter what, we always going to try to be together. We don't want to be one of these couples who are giving children broken homes, because she already, got off a relationship, and by extension, even though she does her best to raise the children, and, she takes care of them really well, like it or not, it's still a broken home to an extent, right?
Well, I want to say something real quick right here. The thing about us men, the thing that gives us a lot of strength is that we're always so determined. Like, if you give us a task at a job, most of us want to see it to the end, that we'll work really hard for something, and relationships are no different. Right. When problems occur, we are not going to just run away the first chance we get. We're going to be like, okay, that happened. Let's find a way to solve it. Yes. Unfortunately, for some women, I'm not going to say all, but some women, it's almost like they take these bad incidents, especially with what the man does, and puts them in a security deposit box and waiting to use it again at a later time. And it's like, and I had this problem in many relationships past, where I'm like, I want to solve the problem because I don't want it to happen again. But the person never wanted to. They just like, well, let's forget it happened and moved on. And sure enough, the problem occurred again. And I stayed with that relationship as long as I could. But eventually it was like, you're never going to want to solve anything. What's the point?
And that's the issue that I got. That was under my impressions, that every time we had a problem, every time that something happened between us, I would always seek a resolution with her, whoever, if it was mutual, if it was me, if it was her, let's seek a resolution. Let's go through the hurt. Let's go through the whatever has been said or done. But let's, like you said, let's arrive at a deciding point, and then not reconciliation, but a remedy to that situation, carry on our relationship. Because what we have is more important what the problem is. right? The problem is not greater than the relationship we had. That was always my mentality. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm not guilty of making fights or insults or being the party to blame, right? But in my eyes, at least in the way I saw the relationship, when she was a party to blame, I made an effort, even though sometimes I would rehash certain things or feel insecure. At the end of the day, I would still continue to be that individual who wanted to carry on. Because, like I said, I always come up with this idea that what we have overall was way better than the bad moments, right? And like you said, Chris, maybe I made the mistake of thinking that the individual in question got over them. And like you said, didn't put in a deposit box, so would resurface with it later. And then say, remember this time? And you're like, yeah, I do. And why are you bringing it up? I thought it was done, right? Because you guys know the individual. You and Vanessa know the individual I'm talking about. And throughout these years, you guys would see what? Oh my gosh, you guys are so in love, right?
Yeah.
That's what you guys saw. And that's what you guys got too from the conversations whenever you guys had conversations with that person.
Yeah.
And I think everybody told me how shocked they were to find out anything was happening at all. Matter of fact, I have people still talking to me, asking me, what happened to you guys? I'm like, it's been almost 3 months and you still don't know what happened? Like, no, because it's kind of part of the brain where you don't think that these two people, who everybody liked being together, are split up. It's because, and and I even had a MGTOW kid who was a MGTOW who even told me like, oh, you two guys together are the only thing that inspire me or make me believe there's hope for men and women relationship, you know? And I just thought, I'm like, I know that, personal issues maybe, shouldn't be something that people should look up to, but at the same time, it is what it is, right? And this
would
kid
be the perfect moment to have the Pac-Man dying sound. Thinking about that MGTOW kid.
Right, exactly. Because until then, what I would hear from the MGTOWs would be like, oh, she's going to screw you over one day. You watch it, you're trusting her and this and that. Because I would disagree with them in some ways, right? I think you guys can be very extreme sometimes. I think you guys can be, I understand maybe you went through issues. And I get that. Right? That you have a lot of bitterness. Maybe your case was horrible. But me and my end, I was like, that's not happening to me, though. You got to understand, I don't see your way. I don't have your perspective. And I understand you have a better view of women in general, but that's not what's going on in my life. So you got to understand that I'm not going to agree with you on this because that's not going on in my life. I'm not having a bad experience with my wife, and we're cool together. We have so much in common together. We're visionaries. We like what we're doing. We have empathy. We got a lot of hobbies and things we're interested in and things like of the sort, right? So, but we did have struggles and we always had struggles, of course. But the way I saw the struggles, in my eyes, at least, was the how we gonna make sure that we're in the same location all the time, and there's no way that we're gonna be split up again. And to her credit, she ended up spending a lot, right? Even getting in debt. And that's why the last time she left, I even told her, I'm like, look, don't come here again, or let's not solve this issue until we make sure that I can help you out of that, get you out of that debt, and make things fly smoother. And that's what we agreed upon. This person has left since March. And until then, I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. Or anything, the relationship, of course, there will be issues. For example, if I would say one thing I would sometimes bring up, or because of fights, is issues over the ex-husband getting too close again. You know what I mean? That's the only person. But everything else, I didn't care because she will always have guys hitting on her and whatever. I'm like, I didn't care. I laughed it off. Whatever. We'd laugh it off, right? Everybody has insecurities in a relationship. Things like, who's this girl? Do you know her? things of that happens to everybody, right? And I have to reassure her that nothing's going on. This is just a person here, there. But overall, I didn't think that was like deal breakers. It's just things that I thought that naturally happen in any relationship, really. But, you know, and I recently made a video on my channel for my daughter explaining the history, and I was very open where I went wrong, right? Where I went wrong, or maybe I did things that shouldn't have been done or said, but I try to man up to them, right? So she knows the history. Because right now what's going on, from what I hear from other people who have talked to me recently, is that a lot of weird things have been levied against me. And my contact is limited with this individual. The only contact I have sometimes are the family members or email, not even phone, not even Facebook or nothing. And when it comes to me still trying to carry on the relationship, I thought we were on the same page. And she was even saying things like, I can try it, just not very, I'm very frustrated with the situation. I've always been apart. And I said to her, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But I'm not calling it quits because I thought we had something going on here, very special, right? She would go to one side and the other, talk about some issues she was going through, very personal, and bring out things that, and I still said to her, I'm not giving up on this. None of that is a deal breaker to me. And now that I think about it, people even say, like, maybe she was trying to have you break up. So she'd be like, I'm free, But people were already telling me that weird things are going. And some pictures are being posted, Instagram accounts and all that stuff. And some guy that even a mutual friend of ours who left Instagram, he deleted his account, it's like, by the way, he's like, are you guys okay? That was in October, probably mid-October or close to the last 10 days of October. I'm like, yeah, I mean, she's been quiet lately. I think she's going through something. She's very busy. She works too. Has to take care of the kids. So, I'm just giving her some space. Maybe something going on, but I don't know why. I said until last month we were fine. We're still like, being affections, telling I love her, but she's very busy lately. And maybe she just wants some time for herself. She's, hanging out with some friends, her brother, and trying to have movie nights. I'm like, I'm going to respect that. He's like, yeah, because she's posting some really provocative pictures here. And I'm not sure you would be okay, even though you are very open-minded about this kind of stuff. And I noticed there's a guy who always likes his stuff now, and she always liking his stuff. And matter of fact, she called this guy sexy in one of his pictures. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. That was a shock to me.
It's not normal behavior for, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I never called a woman sexy other than her.
Yeah.
I remember that post she had. You guys remember that thing what she did where the girls would post pictures and compliment each other, and the guys had? She was doing a social experiment to see who would compliment people the most. I was encouraging the other girls, but I bragged on her at the same time. Oh, those are girls like, oh, goddamn, yeah, you look good, congrats, girls. But I did that to every woman to see what they were, because I knew she was carrying an experiment. And with her, I would post her pictures there. You guys remember me posting her pictures and flirting with her and all that stuff? I would post my own wife's pictures. And that's all that ever happened. But then I said, I never called anybody sexy. Why would she do that? Call another man? Because she always bragged on me. I never thought she would go ahead and say something so blatantly like that. And it's like, well, he's like, I'm deleting Instagram anyway, so I'll show you this what's being said here. And he's like, you don't have an Instagram? I'm like, nope. I even forgot she had one. I'm not sure if I even knew she had one. It's like, all right. And then later, what happened was my GPS account, whenever she came to the US, she also had my account, the GPS, which, probably get the locations and everything. And sometimes I'll tell her since last year, like, look, I'm getting notifications of places you're going. I don't want to you'd think that I'm tracking you, anything. Can you remove that? And she always forgot to do that. And I noticed that she would tell me she would go to places, and she wasn't going to the places she said she was going. I noticed there was a pattern to the places she was going. I noticed there was a locations that were really suspicious. And the one I checked out was, you know, a job site of the individual she was getting involved with. And then I checked on her Facebook, and I saw who that was, an individual. But I left it alone. Then I was still trying to talk through the issues of the relationship. And she'll still lie to me, say that she wasn't a place, and not answer me. Stop with the affection, cut back on the affection. Then it should be trying to bring up again things on the past, like Chris said. Then one fateful Saturday, she started ghosting me. She told me she was going to do something. I didn't know what the hell she was. Time passed by, hours passed by. It was almost midnight. And I gave her a few rings that she didn't pick up. And I got concerned. And one of the things I always dealt since the baby was born and she went away when she was pregnant was separation anxiety. And trust me, guys, it just got worse and worse and worse. And let her know that my separation anxiety was getting worse. And that's one of the things she agreed. Like, that's why we definitely need to find a situation where we can be together, because you're getting irritable. Your mood changed. You were a very nice, giving, romantic guy, very sassy and whatever. And I see that this anxiety is doing you in. So, and maybe that's one of the things that made her probably do what she did, but at the same time, those are the things you talk about. That's not the things you go behind somebody's back and do something, right? Because I made sure that when we began talking and we got in a relationship in the beginning, she had panic attacks, she had anxiety, she had deep depression, and she would call me late at night, 3 a.m, crying, having and I would calm her down, and I was there for this individual, and I was expecting for this individual also to be there for me. But I think that wore her down, and she was not taking it seriously anymore. Matter of fact, she said to me one time, "You acting like a man, baby." Those famous feminist words, right? And I was like, wow. That's when I knew the respect was dwindling as well. And that's when I would flare out. That's like, "Oh, really? I bet you didn't talk to your ex like that. You don't have the guts, because that guy's crazy. But you think you can talk to me like that." That's when I'll bring up the ex. Like, "Oh, you always bring them up." Like, yeah, because I know you never confronted your trauma, your past, and that's what's doing you. You're projecting on me what happened to you in the past, and I don't like that, because I'm not doing the same to you. I don't project on you what my ex did. But it's like I felt.
Go ahead. My ex would do that too, because she had just gotten separated, and she wasn't prepared for it. I mean, I knew like a year before that she was wanting to leave, and I'm like, if you're going to leave him, make sure you're prepared to leave. Set yourself up. And she didn't. And so when I moved in with her, it was like almost right away she would compare me to her ex-husband, and she's like, "Well, that's exactly what he would do." And it was just like, and one day she played a game with me, and I later realized what she actually was doing, but she's like, "If there's one thing you could change about me, what would it be?" I'm like, "I don't want to play that game, because you'll just get angry with me." And she's like, "No, no, no." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I wish you'd stop comparing me to your ex-husband." She thought I was going to pick something on her body. I'm just like, "Stop comparing me to your ex-husband." But it was just an excuse for her to complain about my teeth.
Wow. Well, in my case, it was more like she wouldn't come out and compare per se and say the name and say. Sometimes she would say, "Yeah, this kind of bothers me because he used to do kind of stuff like this." I'm like, "Okay," but then she would be ballsy at the same time. I don't have a problem. Like, personally, if you're getting ballsy with me and you're letting me have it a little bit, I don't mind it, because I'm the type of person that lets people have it too when I'm fed up, right? And that's one of the things that I wanted her to have, is more of a backbone and really speak her mind and say what she feels, so she doesn't bottle it up. Because people low self-esteem and all that, and went through a lot of trauma, they bottle things up. right? They always think they're the ones, like, it must be my fault. It must be something that I did. Oh, therefore this person's attacking me or getting mad at me. And I said, no, it's not that. Don't ever think everything's your fault. Maybe you have a legitimate excuse to be pissed off, right? And let me know when you're pissed, right? But don't bottle it up, and then eventually you act very hectic and project all this crap on me that I'm thinking what I'm doing. So that's what used to happen. You know? For example, if I made a funny post or for example, where guys were making fun of thoughts or all that nonsense, and I would comment there making fun, I would get accused of giving thoughts attention and what I'm like, I'm not giving them attention, I'm making fun of them. And she would thought that would be disrespectful because, oh, if you're paying attention to this kind of women means that I'm not doing the right things. I'm like, what do you mean not doing the right things? How many poems I wrote for you? How many like erotic stuff I wrote for you and let you know. And whenever we were together, we had, you know, great chemistry in the bedroom and whatever. I let you know, I made sure to always let you know that I'm extremely attracted to you and there's no fault in you that I find, right? Physically or whatever. No need to be this way because, you know, I never looked at you and said, oh, you know what? You got to fix that over there. That looks ugly. I never did that. Ever. She would be the one to ask me, oh, what do you like in a woman if you had to say, be honest, completely honest? You know, you're a Brazilian guy. I'm like, yeah. Like, you like, you know, girls with big butts? I'm like, yeah, of course. It's like, I'm going to, you know, work on myself. I'm like, well, she looked good already. But, like, it's something you want to do for me? Sure, if you like it. I never forced anything upon anybody. But it's like the way I'm being treated right now, because maybe that's what she thought that I wanted, and I didn't want to come out and say it because she was projecting the way she thinks of me. And it's like, oh, now she's going around telling people, oh, you always demanded this stuff out of me. I'm like, I never demanded that out of you. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm really sad that he got to this way because I was, you know, thinking about why would an individual that spent so much time with me, knows me so well, knows that I didn't abuse or anything, would come out and start saying things like that. Mm-hmm. And one individual is very wise, a friend of ours. I'm not going to mention her name. But she's in the known of the men's movement. It's like, you know the problem is, Thiago? I said, what? She's covering up for what she did. She's doing preemptive strike before you come out and say something. Before you have the evidence and the proof for that something. So it's called preemptive strike. It says more about her than about you. Don't worry about it. Don't take it. I know it's kind of hard for me to tell you not to take it personally. Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I went over something similar with you about that.
Say what, Chris?
I believe I talked to you about something similar during our conversation.
Right. I'm not saying she didn't have justifiable complaints. I'm not saying there were things that I should have done better. Yes, of course there were. Definitely were. Especially financial reasons and whatnot. But to take something that happened, an incident, and then you inflate it and you build up on it, or you mischaracterize what happened, that's totally something altogether. Right?
Well, it's like the saying goes, when you point your finger at someone, you've got three fingers pointing back at you.
Right, because until I found out the affair, we were still planning things. We were flirting. We were saying crazy flirtatious stuff for each other, you know, and whatnot. And matter of fact, one of the most recent texts before everything happened to her, she said, I'm the happiest when I'm around you. Then I said the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got the dates here and everything, and this person is saying, like, so it was a big trick in my mind. And I don't know if any guys in the chat get familiarized. I don't know if they had relationships where they thought everything was going great. Yes, some difficulties were here and there. But out of the blue, things went downhill for you. And you could never see it coming.
That did actually happen to me once. I was dating a girl. She was actually younger than me. She had actually turned 21 when we first started dating, and I was in my 30s, early 30s. So there was a little bit of an age gap there. But it was like we were dating for about 3 months, and I thought everything was fantastic. And then one day she tells me, oh, I met a guy at a party, and I really like him. and I don't know what to do. And having been through a lot of breakups, I'm just like, you already know what to do. You're just trying to get me to break up with you to make it easy for you. And she just stretched this out for a week, and then she decided to leave me. And this was actually like a week before Christmas. That's how much it sucked.
Wow.
Hey, at least you didn't have to give her a gift.
Actually, I did give her a gift. Like the day she actually, because I ordered it online. It was like 3 books. The Kazeel series or something like that. Special. Yeah. I got her those books because I thought she would really like them. I wish I had kept them because I think I would have really liked them. But, she came over. I'm like, got your Christmas present here. And so like, oh, that's so great. This is so hard. I am actually breaking up with you. He's waiting for me in the car.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow. See,
so, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because something kind of like that has happened to me, but not really. It wasn't really that extreme because like it wasn't a very like serious relationship. But this one time I was dating a guy who I met at a youth group, but neither of us actually were very religious. We just went there because our friends went there. So we started dating, and he told me that he was a virgin when we first met. I don't know if that was true or not. But after like I'd say a few weeks of dating, he decided to tell me, well, he called me, and I was at my friend's house, and I was literally like about to go to the youth group that he goes to with me. And he called me and he was like, I think we should break up because I'm starting to think that you only want me because of my dick. And what? I was like, wait, what? Like that was like the most like out of the blue thing I've ever heard, like as an excuse for breaking up. I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like you were a virgin, and like, even if that was the case, like what? But I don't know. I feel like it was just an excuse. Well, it was obviously just an excuse. I don't know why. I don't know why he thought that that was a good excuse, but I was just like, okay, whatever. I mean, that's strange, but it almost like it was so comical. I almost didn't really feel that bad because I was like, well, I guess you just, I guess we just weren't meant to be together.
Well, here's a question though, Medusa. Did you?
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was like, I mean, he wasn't like huge or anything. Like, not that that matters, but he wasn't like the best in bed or anything like that. So it definitely wasn't that.
He was beefing himself, basically.
Well, every guy says they have 8 inches. I'm the only one willing to prove I do.
8 inches of what?
Salami.
Oh, okay. I like salami.
There you go.
And pepperoni, all that good stuff.
Like, but the thing is, like, it's frustrating because when you encourage the individual, and this is one of the things that kind of like got me irritated a lot, was the fact that this individual would come out and say, from what I hear anyway, said something akin to he never supported me, he never liked what I did, the hobbies, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, how many text messages I have, how many inboxes I have, how many phone calls or Skype videos we did, or Facebook chat, where I would tell you when she was here, I'm like, do something, seek out your passions again. Buy a drum kit, save up money so you buy a drum kit because she likes to play drums and things like that. I'm like, what do you mean I never supported you? And all these weird things that there was going to be said to claim that this individual wasn't for me. Well, yeah, because the lid is blown right open and people know what you did now. Now it's, it's kind of cheap talk right now for you to come out and say all this crap when everybody was like look, we all talked to her. She always inboxed us, and she always told us, "You guys are great together." Bullshit happened, yes, but you guys are great together. Now out of the blue, you're a piece of crap, abusive asshole. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's something there. And like, especially with the trips, she wouldn't be going back and forth for an abusive guy. She would just stay the hell over there.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
You're distant. Why would you come back?
and of course, you know, women can use the excuse why they continue to stay in abusive relationships. Oh,
Children.
well, I was scared. Or, I mean, this happened with Mattress Girl. I mean, the guy had text showing that after they had sex, she wanted to continue to have sex with him, which I must say, that was probably some pretty good D if she continued to want sex. And he just kept saying, no, I'm not interested. And that's when she decided to say it was rape. And I'm not saying that your ex is going to do this, but it's just like, you know, women just try to find all sorts of excuse why they continue to stay with the person who is abusive. And that actually happened to me when I was in high school, that I dated a chick. And after 2 months, we came back from Christmas vacation. Like the first day we were back, she broke up with me. But then after that, spread rumors around the school that I abused her. And the only reason why she didn't break up with me sooner is because she loved me. Right. And I almost got into a fight because of it. One guy actually believed her and was ready to knock my lights out. He had his shirt hold, fist up. He was ready to do it. So.
No. And that's the thing that kills me, is that when that happens to you, there's something in the brains of human beings. I don't know. I think we need to explore that. You know, it's probably part of the woman of wonderful, in fact, where you can have a history of an individual, and everybody will be like, yeah, they really love each other. Oh my God, they keep bragging about each other. But the moment a woman says anything negative, really detrimental, all that flies out of the window. You know? Everything they heard for the last how many years or whatever is like it's like selective amnesia, and they forget about it, and they all come and say, oh, how dare you do that? I'm like, do what? She told us what you did. Yeah, what? Oh, she told us this. I'm like, well, something like that happened, but it wasn't like that. That's bullshit. Never said that. That's her projection. Okay, that's a problem, but that's a problem I promised her to solve, but now she cheated. And what the hell? She has a new guy now. Let the guy take care of it, because I'm not gonna be a fool, right? That pays to be cuckold. So, and you like try to like work through the sea of garbage and the one-liners. I'm like, there's a lot of one-liners there without context of what happened, right? And I'm pretty open about those one-liners. And I'll tell that person, this is not what happened. This is what the way it was said. And I even was telling Chris the things that happen in context, the way I remember them perfectly. Because one of the things about anxiety, once you start getting better with the depression that you went through, your memories start clicking off better. You start remembering better what exactly happened because of the confusion this person threw at you. And it was like a bunch of texts you're saying, well, what about this time? What about this time? I'm like, you cheated. Why are you coming up with all this BS? Why you broke up with me and left me for somebody else? You were cheating already before we were good. No, you're coming up with rationalizations and justifications to justify what you did.
It's not even necessary. That's the saddest part.
Say what?
It's not really necessary. That's the saddest part. Like, you know, why?
Right. That's the question. Why? Like, why? Like, why would you do that? Now, one of the things that we're talking about before all that happened was sexual frustration. You know, she tried to give me a pass, a hall pass, but I didn't take it. Because at the end of the day, I'm thinking, now I want to be really loyal to this. I know it's going to mess her up if I do something like that. And she did admit, like, yeah, you know, because she was taking some types of hormone treatment, testosterone. She's like, oh, you know, I'm already like a horny woman. It's making me worse. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's like, that's why I don't go out, because I'm like, fine. So I was planning, because she had tragedy happen to the family. So I was trying to be understanding. You go stay a little bit more in the family because there was a time that like 2 years ago, tragedy happened to the family as well. And she wasn't there for when it happened. And she felt really guilty about it. Matter of fact, that was one of the things she brought up to kind of tell me I was a piece of crap because the individual passed away. I think she was here. Then when she arrived there, she didn't get to see this individual before they passed away. And of course, that's sad. I understand feeling the pain of not
your fault, though.
No, but this is what happened. We were talking. She was crying about it and, going through the pain. But she got in this tangent of blaming herself for not being there. What is she thinking I was a good, whatever, the relationship she had. And I had that tangent when my father passed away in 2010. Because I told Chris that me and my father were not necessarily in a perfect relationship. I think he was going through a midlife crisis where he wanted to drop everything and say a bunch of crazy shit to us, right? So, and 2 weeks after my father passed away, we're still not in good terms, and that messed me up emotionally. Sometimes, the way I reacted to that is that I try to rationalize his death. I was like, well, we were not perfect. I'm not going to be here crying so much about it. But the moment he went down the grave and the funeral was over and I got into my room, I cried the entire day. And that guilt feeling of I should have patched up things with him completely. I should have been in a perfect relationship before he went away. What was he thinking when he suffered a heart attack, right? What was he thinking in his last moments? You feel the guilt, and the guilt is enormous. And I'll be honest, I think that guilt is what made me get into the abusive relationship I got with in the beginning. Because a couple of months after my father passed away, that's when I was starting to my abusive ex. And to fill in that gap, right, that emotional gap, let's try this relationship thing. Pursue somebody, or they pursue us, right? And it's like these people are trauma vampires. They can tell when you're going through some BS that they can go over there and suck the life out of you when you're needy, right? So something told me, after I analyzed the situation, that I thought that maybe that's what happened. She zoomed in on me because she knew my father passed away. She probably saw the signs and zoomed in. The same thing that was happening to this individual where she was blaming herself, and I kept trying to tell her, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. I don't think this individual who passed away thought of you like that as a terrible family member. And then I said, look, stop. And she kept going on about it, right? And she's somebody that feels guilt greatly too. That's even way worse than me. Trust me. And I said, look, right now, you're not making it about this person's death, and you're making it about you. That's immature. That's being a baby. That's what I did when my father passed away. I was being a baby about it. Instead of confronting and mourning his death, I was trying to look for ways around it. And the guilt was more of a comfortable thing instead of realizing this person. And I said, don't worry, this individual lived a long life. I'm pretty sure she loved you. She never blamed you for anything. Or, she saw a lot of people being born in her family. I don't think she hated you. You were always a nice, family member, right? Like, yeah, okay. I don't think she blames you for anything. And so after that day, she was okay. She was more lifted up about that situation. And I'm like, go mourn her. Go be with your family. Tell me how it was later in the funeral. How your family was dealing with. And then she brought that when we were having issues a couple of months ago. This individual brought up those issues. Oh, you called me a baby when I'm like, I didn't call you a baby because your family member died. I said that when it was about the way you were going about the situation, and you were really, really, really on the guilt trip thing, and I didn't want you to go in there because now you're making the death about you and not about that person. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I'm not talking as an outsider looking at you, judging you. I'm looking at this as somebody who went through that. In ways worse than you, because it was a parent that passed away, and I was not in good terms with that parent. To double the damage, right? The emotional trauma. So I know as an individual went through that, I know that I was being a little bit immature. I'm not saying you don't feel some guilt over the fact that you weren't there. That's fine. But to go on a tangent and think that this is what should be the mourning process is not healthy. That's not good. That's not good for you. That's not good for everybody because you might make stupid decisions, right?
You're just trying to give healthy advice in a blunt way.
Right. And maybe the word baby triggered her. I'm like, yeah, but I was saying a baby because this person died. I was saying the way you're going about it, and I was trying to snap you out of it because you were not snapping out of it. So I got a little rougher with it. You know what I mean? I was trying to be nice, but you didn't take it in. Yeah, you frustrated me.
I want to take a quick moment here. We're going to extend this show for another 30 minutes because I think that this is a very powerful episode. But I'm just letting everyone know that we're going to go for a full 2 hours today.
Okay. No problem.
So we got 30 minutes left.
If you guys want me to speed it up or anything, just let me know. Let me have it. I don't care.
No, you talk about whatever's on your mind, man. So go for it.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you a lot. And by the way, if you guys want to bring this individual in to tell their side, let them have it, you know? But at the same time, so this was being levied. I'm like, it didn't happen that way. I didn't say you were being a baby about somebody dying, but you're taking your grieving process to another level that had nothing to do with missing the individual or maybe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that was levied against me. And another thing that was levied against me was the fact that this person said, you said that I should die and leave our daughter with you. I'm like, what? When did I ever say that? Oh, that's what you said. And this is what changed the that's what happens too. This is how they changed the narrative. They were trying to control the narrative. She knew I had anxiety, separation anxiety, bad, was getting worse, and I always thought I need to do something about it, right? Then she started saying I had manic episodes. It went from anxiety to mania. And I was like, do you realize what mania is?
Yeah, it's like part of being bipolar, right?
Right. It's PTSD, bipolarism. And it's like a high. It's actually though, like, people have mania, they have bouts of egotism, of like high self-esteem, high inflation of the ego, and they always see themselves as better than everybody else, and it has nothing to do with anxiety. I'm like, these people like going out. People who suffer from manic episodes, they love like doing crazy shit. I was being isolated. I hardly hang out with my friends. I hardly did anything socially. I had, another big indicator I had that was acid reflux. And matter of fact, I had a panic attack last year. Was so bad that I thought I was dying, and I ended up going to the hospital. And this individual knows this. And the doctors told me, yeah, I'm not a psychiatrist, but here's a test you can take. Because it does sound like, yeah, you're definitely going through. And throughout the whole process of me having a panic attack in the hospital, I was looking at my daughter's pictures, her pictures, and everything to keep me sane, to keep me from going deeper into the panic attack, right? This person knows.
Well, I was going to say, it's funny how people just use terms that they've sort of heard but never try to look it up. I once had a girlfriend who, because I disagreed with her, she's like, you're acting very passive-aggressive. And I'm like, you don't even know what passive-aggressive means. I'm being direct with you. I'm telling you exactly how I feel. That's not passive-aggressive.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I just want to look at the chat. My bad.
Oh, no worries.
Go ahead.
It happens.
Right, go ahead. And so basically, I agree with you, Chris, because sometimes that'll be thrown at me. I didn't think much about it, but now that I look back, I'm like, what the hell? Because I remember certain conversations where this person, oh, you acting insane now. You're being passive-aggressive. I'm like, what? I'm being open in my communication here and trying to explain stuff to you, and you're throwing all these terms on me that don't really catch or fit. Do you realize you're just throwing shit around?
Yeah.
And my anxious...
Pescatalian.
Go ahead.
I said, you're a pescatalian. I don't think that's an actual word, but,
Who knows? Who knows? Right? So, I mean... And all these things, I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, maybe she's being secure. Something happened. I understand. when you are still trying to recover from trauma. It's been long years that she suffered a lot. I understand that. So I was trying to be patient, trying to explain to her, but at the same time being frustrated at the situation. That stuff was being thrown at me, right? Um, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, look, remember those boundaries that I always taught you about? That's what I'm doing right here. I'm not letting you cross a boundary, okay? You should do the same. All this crap you say to me does not hold any water because I'm proving to you that's not what's happening. So I always had to do that throughout the relationship and be patient with the person, um, because they were coming off of a long years of abuse themselves. So in my mind, I was like, that's not gonna go away anytime soon, right? That's not gonna go anytime soon. And so, and when all this happened, pretty much, I mean, brought up. I think I was talking to Chris about it the other day, and they were saying things like, um, I was watching pornography behind her back, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like when the baby was born, what happened was one time, I think we that was twice. That was two moments. One in 2015 and one 2016. There were two moments. One of them was I was in the bedroom. I think I even told Chris that I was writing the blog, the No More Messenger thing that me in parentheses used to write. And at the same time, like me and her never had secrets, right? Like because of the beginning of our relationship, people would hack into our accounts, so we always watched each other's accounts. We knew each other's passwords, whatever. She watched my account for me when I was busy, and I watched hers, right? So we didn't care about it. I didn't think anything of it. She didn't think anything of it. Sometimes I would use her, not necessarily comment all the time, but I would ask her like, "Can I see something what people are saying here while I type here?" It's like, "Oh, no problem. I just came back from work. I was there chilling in the bedroom. She was in the living room, the full time of the baby. And the thing about the bedroom door that we had was busted. The lock was busted, right? And it was closed. It was not locked, but it was closed. Um, so what happened was during that time, like I said to Chris, there was a bunch of stuff, crazy stuff being said in the post. There were people talking about some, explicit stuff. I try to say something using her account like to make fun or whatever. And like I said, I don't know if it was Chris, I mean, before somebody else, then it was somebody else. Sent a funny link, and it was like a porn ad kind of thing, right? Just to make fun, fun back. And I didn't think anything of like, oh, this guy's just being funny, right? And I went back, and then this person tried to open the door, and she claimed, "Why did you lock the door?" I'm like, "No, it's not locked the door. The lock is busted because this shit doesn't even turn anymore. How busted it is." And I'm like, "Hold on, I'm gonna go over there." Open the door for her. She's like, "What are you doing over there?" Like, I was chatting with the guys here on your iPad and see what they're saying, and then I'm writing the blog. You know? Well, I have a colicky baby. I'm like, okay, if you want to be my turn, I'll watch her. Right? And then pick up a fight, arguing about that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I told you what I was doing. I'm trying to be honest. I'm back in. I'm gonna stay in the futon here because you're pissing me off. If you want to use the bedroom, go ahead. I'll just stay here. Typing stuff. She came back with the iPad. She said, "Oh, by the way, if you're gonna lie better because I just saw it here." I'm like, "Yeah, it's an ad. It's from the post the guys were having and saying explicit stuff, and I, used your account to say something funny back, and you got deleted. Like, if you make sure it's just an ad, it was not even the full thing." I'm like, "Look at your history. Matter of fact, you see if I watched anything at all, right?"
Yeah.
Then the other time, I think was the next year, we did have a fight that I was staying in the futon. She was in the bedroom. It was like probably like sleep time. But one thing she always did for me was she used to send me videos of herself, right? Couple shit. You know what I mean? I don't need to get into detail. You know what I mean? And I always thought she was out in those, of course. But at the same time, I was having male ego shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna go there, And I think that's the time she just came out of the pregnancy, right? But at the same time, I didn't want to feel like an asshole and ask her for sex. She just had the baby. It was probably like in the same week or something. And something happened there. Like, it wasn't necessarily a fight. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna stay out here a little bit, right? Because I was not sleepy yet. Um, and I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna demand that out of her. I think it's an asshole thing, you know, blue balls kind of thing. But at the same time, I don't want to look insensitive. I popped in one of her videos, took care of business, and then she came out of the bedroom, caught me doing it. Her first response must have been watching porn.
Really?
And what I did is I was laying down looking at her. She's like, "What are you doing? You watch porn?" I'm like, I took my fingers really slowly, turned the screen around, and she could see her video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching your video. If I'm doing anything, it's still you. She still got me. Well, you know, I'm here, you know, this, and that. I'm deprived. I'm like, I didn't know you were ready. It's like, well, I was ready to, and that's what she said, which is crazy. She said, I was ready to do with you since after the first had. I'm like, God damn. I just can't because physically, I know, I said, I just can't because physically I had to recuperate. But in my mind, I wanted to do with you right after the first day. I'm like, I didn't know that. You're a girl. I mean, you had a baby. You probably have to heal a lot before you can do anything. It's like, I'm frustrated too. And this, okay, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. He's like, you know, why don't you try something else with me instead of being there? I feel left out. I'm like, all right, all right. I just did not want to be an asshole and demand some shit out of you. Okay? And demand some crap out of you. Right. That I would look like an insensitive asshole. And I even said, check my history. Because she was like, oh, you probably X'd it off. Even if I X'd it off, you call me in the moment. Go check the history. If you check the history, nothing.
Yeah.
That reminds me on Family Guy when Peter was like watching this woman like have sex with herself when he was supposed to be having sex with Lois. And and Lois decides to record herself and do a whole video to try to seduce Peter. And you know, while they're having sex, Peter's still looking at the TV screen.
That's funny.
That's the thing. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So I didn't know how far. And then she told me, it's like, well, remember, my ex was not necessarily interested in you, came to affection. And sometimes I wake up, I catch him watching shit, he hide from me. I'm like, okay, so it's more what happened in the past than what's happening now kind of thing. Like, again, projecting the previous relationship on the new one, right? I said, that's not me. You know that's not me. I seek you out. I'm like, we have a healthy sexual relationship. We cannot keep our hands from each other. Right? So why are you fearful of that? Yeah. There's no reason except your insecurities or something happened in the past. So talk it out with me. Don't accuse me of crap, and then tell me that I'm doing the same crap, because I'm not gonna stand by it. Because look, for people who are being accused of doing something they're not, it feels terrible. Maybe you guys dealt with being accused of doing something you're not. You know, it doesn't even need to be somebody that you're in a relationship with, but people on the outside accusing you of doing something in a relationship and you're not doing it. You know, it sucks. It feels terrible. Like it's not a good feeling. And it's not even a feeling of irritability. It's a feeling of, Jesus Christ, the hell am I doing? You know, why are you coming ganging up on me? What am I doing wrong? Jesus, what is it?
Right.
You know? Yeah, Medusa accused me of stealing her dildo.
The bag.
Okay, now, yeah.
I kept telling her, why would I want a dildo? I already have one, but
now I understand she wants to slap you with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, slap me upside the head with it. Take revenge.
Exactly.
And so those things that happen, I try to be very open right now, because people might ask me, why are you saying this particular personal things, right? Because I want to be open, because if my name is going to be thrown out there in the forum, in the open forum of social media, and I'm going to be transformed from the guy that this person was madly in love with to a piece of shit monster just because she found somebody else to have a fling behind my back, and now she's trying to justify that action. I'm not going to be silent and let people think the devil out of me, because that might actually transpire in my real life.
Right.
Because somebody who's crazy in one of these white knights that she got over there, these flying monkeys, might try to find out where I live, who I am, and tell the police something here. You know what I mean? You got one of these whackers out there who do dox people and who do try to harm you.
Basically swat you.
Swat me and claim, oh, this guy did this, by the way, because this person made a post saying a bunch of crazy crap about this person, so we trying to protect her. And like people tell me, hey, she's probably going to get it too.
And that's actually something that happened to me once, although on a very small scale. Like, I was a part of an MMO game, and I was part of a guild, and I sort of hooked up with a girl in that guild. And at first it was fun and exciting, although we never met, but then she broke up with me, but she continued to have sexual conversations with me all the time. And so, you know, I was pretty young. I was in my early 20s, so I just continued on with her. But then she started being a bitch about it after a few months. And it was like on and off, you know. So one day she'll say, well, I don't want to do this anymore. And then like a few days later, she was like, oh, I want your big throbbing member. You know, it's just stuff like that. And then after the last time, you know, we did it, she ended up going to some of the other members and telling them that I was sexually harassing her.
Oh.
And she showed very selective text to reveal that I was the aggressor rather than it being her. And, you know, I realized that once she started going to other people, once she started involving other people, including the guild leader, that it was basically done, that sooner or later I would be thrown out. So I decided to leave. And I wrote a letter, and I had the guild leader approve this letter saying, you know, some stuff have come up and, you know, I'm just leaving. It'd be better if I left. And before I directly left, I was in the chat room and everyone was like asking, oh, please don't leave. Oh, you're such a, you know, a great contributor to this guild. It's like, you know, just, it's better if I leave, you know. I was very vague about it. I didn't want any details out.
You were totally the bigger person in that incident.
And then she comes into the chat, having read the letter, and she's like, oh, well, you're leaving because of me, and that makes me really depressed. I think I'm going to leave the game. And in that instant, everyone in the chat turned against me to support her. They're like, oh, you don't have to leave. He's the asshole. He's already leaving. You don't need to go anywhere.
Oh, God.
It's so amazing to me how everyone hated me the moment a woman came in and cried foul.
Right. Right. And this is the problem, that a lot of people are willing to put up with that, and they're not even willing to ask questions, which is, there are two sides to the story here. There are ways that stories interconnect, but at the same time, though, this is one of the things that I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like Ayn Rand, but I think there's something she said in her book, Atlas Shrugged. She wrote that whenever there's a controversy, check your premises, because one of them might be in the wrong. You might have two sides, and they might have their points, right? Like, okay, point taken from you, point taken from you. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a side that will be like, okay, this one has more of a moral upground here, a moral standing. Because while you complain about this side was seeking resolution for what happened, while you pulled away and you did all this other crap here. So you cannot claim that this person is terrible, this side is that terrible, when they admitted their wrongs. You have your wrongs, but you took a very, very deceptive and very, very, for the lack of a better word, I don't want to get cartoonish, but evil decisions to harm this individual, who at a certain time and space and period of time you thought was the greatest person to be with you, and they thought the same about you, you know, in the terms of relationship mechanics and things that men go through. So when you bring up the fact is they know they're going to be lavished with sympathy. And they're going to start removing the people that they know the history, and not necessarily going to show them sympathy and be like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, they'll remove the glass like me and start thinking about it. Whoa. This whole time, all we heard is how great this guy or this person was with you, how much you missed the individual, how much he hurt you being away from this individual. And out of the blue, this individual is a complete dickwad. And this new person you're with that 2 weeks you show up later with this individual is the amazing person of the current time frame. People who have a half a brain will be like,
right.
You
Some
cheated.
people just listen and believe. Like,
Some people listen and believe. But there are others who know what's going on, are experiencing the ways of life, and be like, not only did you cheat, but you're trying to glorify your cheating and the person you're cheating with. Now you're trying to demoralize the individual. We all personally know this individual, and we are good judges of characters. We know he ain't like that.
Well, it's about time to wrap up, so I want to ask you one final question. Because you stated that during your relationship, you would hear stories from other people. You'd read other stories and think that, you know, you were lucky because that would never happen to you. And unfortunately, a lot of it did happen to you.
Yeah.
Where do you stand now? Have you become MGTOW? Did you decide to swing the other way? Or do you still have hope that there's a woman out there for you?
To be honest, if I have to give advice to anybody who's going as well through this, moment, if there's people out there who are more experienced than I am, but from my experience, what I can say is this: don't decide anything too rashly. Take time to heal. Take time to build yourself up again. Take time to even understand the other side as well. You know, ironically, take the time to work things out, especially if there's children involved. There's nothing involved, then you go your way, right? Not MGTOW, but go your way. Go work on yourself. Go adopt a perspective in your life. See what you learn from it. But at the same time, protect yourself. Protect your integrity. Admit where you went wrong. But at the same time, after that process is done, then I think there you can make a decision where you stand in the sense of, like personally me, sexual, what's the term you use? Orientation has never been an issue with me. I'm pretty much dead set on what I am. Relationships right now, I'm not interested right now, especially because of what happened. I think I should heal. I should focus on myself and focus on the little person that I created, this individual that was born, right? And I think that's where I am right now. And I think after everything settles down, the dust settles, and I have some type of conclusion to the story, then I can be honest with you guys and then say where I'm gonna head completely. But right now, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on building myself up again, and see how I can solve this issue, because there's a little person involved that did not deserve this to happen, right? She's the innocent party in all of this, to be honest. We were two adults that made a decision, and maybe I should have watched for signs as well, and maybe that would have happened. So that's what I would have to say. And if you guys wanted a better opinion, how long have we been chatting, Chris? 2 hours?
Today, we've been chatting about 90 minutes because you came on about 30 minutes late.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, trying to get on the air. But yeah, I wish I could tell you guys more about the other stuff, not personal stuff, but things to encourage other men, of course. If you had more time for that, of course. But now it's maybe another day. I will go from not the personal stuff, but from objective subjects. When I'm feeling
Well,
better,
if you have any words of advice, feel free to let them out before we go. I'm not in any hurry.
Okay. Chris is very punctual, right, Chris? And so that's the advice, guys.
People don't know who I am. Most of the chat is just dedicated to Medusa. I think they think I'm just some drawing of hers.
Oh, you're funny.
Want to see her. We want to see her. We want to see these guys. Come on. You know?
Oh, no, this is important stuff.
Yes, it's very important stuff. That's why I'm so glad to have brought him on here. But
yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
It's like I said, guys. I wish it would be a different reason. I wish it would be a different subject. I wish it would be in a better occasion, a happier occasion. But unfortunately, I think because of what happened to me, I have a duty to myself, to my child, to my family, because my family was also attacked in this period. I've been ostracized by the other side as well. They don't want no contact. I don't know what she has told us, the family's individual. I try to reach out. I try to have my family try to act decently, reach out, see if there's any problems, see if there's anything we could have done.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to say, and I don't know how this I feel right now that I'm just getting some form of hatred. You went from love to now this person hates me. And I'm like, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. And I think men who have been on the receiving end, like Chris, from one person going from loving you, meaning the world to you, or to them, you meaning the world to them, to complete disdain, complete apathy, and not caring. And at the same time, I'm trying to be understanding. Maybe they're going through something, of course. It has been said to me. And I try to reach out and express sympathies. But then like I said, they'll rehash old shit and exaggerate and make up and take things out of context. And I'm like, where we go from here? Is this how you're going to go? Well, like I said, with all that said, I know it's hard and it's traumatizing. It's agonizing. I went through panic attacks again, anxiety, the deep depression, couldn't sleep right. But I made a decision to build myself up. So again, I'm going to repeat myself. Build yourself up guys. Go through the motion. Talk to people if you need to, because trust me, if you don't talk this out, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Deep depression, anxiety, all those things. If you don't reach out and talk to people during these times, you're going to probably do something stupid. Okay? So that's my advice. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as far as talking to someone, ask Thiago here. I'm a very great ear. I listen to what you have to say. And it's not that I seek to give you advice, because I'm not a trained professional. I'll try to give you advice, but mostly I'm just someone who will listen to what you have to say. And most of the time, that's what guys really need the most. And girls have each other to talk about whatever shit, but guys, we don't really get that from each other. So I want people to know that I'm that kind of guy. Reach out to me and I'll listen to what you have to say.
And that's the thanks I'm going to extend to you right now at this final moments of the chat, is that I wouldn't say surprisingly, because I had a feeling that you would be the kind of guy that would talk things out and listen. But at the same time, the amount and the extent of attention you paid to an issue, and let's be clear, like you said in the beginning, nobody here wishes ill will towards the other individual. We always loved her. We always had her as a dear friend or dear wife, right? In my case. Nobody wants her to be vilified, to be chased after, harassed, none of that. Because I'll be the first one to say don't do it, because that's my mother's daughter, my daughter's mother. And but at the same time, there were things that happened that I need to keep my composure, my dignity, despite of what happened, the errors I committed. I'm man enough to admit it, but I'm also man enough to defend myself when I know something is levied against me and it's not accurate and it's made up. Because I could go on here, guys, with the things that were made up against me, but I don't want to extend the conversation, bring up too many details. And if I say, some people out there might have an idea who it is, and I don't want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Right.
messed up, like messed up stuff, like things that should boundaries that should never be crossed, and they were crossed.
Well, if you ever want to just have like a conversation with us, like off air, or if you want to come on the show again, you're absolutely welcome.
Well, how would the conversation off air be? Because maybe I don't want to take your times off from you guys to be somebody else wants to come in. What you guys do?
Fuck that! I have like so much free time.
Yeah.
I mean, I need you to fill that up. Otherwise, my life is just me staring at my microphone.
So would you say the next show, or do you guys want to talk off air? Because any day, any time is fine. I mean, of course not. I just want to also talk to you guys about your own stuff. Of course, you guys want to tell me what's going on with you.
I was just suggesting for the more sensitive information, we could talk off air for some of that. But you're welcome to come on the next show as well and talk about whatever.
I'll tell you this. When you guys get off the air, how does the off-air thing work?
I mean, we haven't really done like any specific shows that I can recall about. Well, I mean, Mad Cat's talked to one person off air, just basically just having a conversation.
Let me actually answer his question, because I think I know what he's asking. All we have to do is hit the disconnect. We'll still be in the room with each other talking, but we're not going to be broadcasting. So
right.
Okay, so here's a question then, because I have free time tonight. So I don't know if you guys do have at least 10 minutes or off air or anything, so I can go over some things.
Yeah.
Sure. Just stick around.
Okay. Let's
don't
do
close
that.
out the window. So.
All right, go ahead. You guys call the shots, and officially the opportunity, guys, to speak a little bit what's going on with me and how this can serve to help other men. Officially, that's what I'm gonna get off with. And if that other person ever watches this show, somebody rats me out, I don't hate you. You were amazing to me. There are many things I owe you, but please, there were things you said, there were things you did that were not necessary. Things could have been better. Things could have been worked out, but you crossed the boundary that I'm not willing to necessarily forgive. Maybe one day, but I know, all I know is I'm improving myself. I'm becoming the man I was when you met me, even better than that. And that's the vow I'm not even making to you anymore, because you crossed the boundary and you're doing something else with your life. But I'm promising this to myself, my family, my loved ones, and my daughter. Our daughter. She always complained about me saying my daughter. It's just a Latin thing. We don't think anything of it, right? But she had problems saying, my daughter. You keep saying my daughter. It's our daughter. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Well, wait till she's 14, then she'll be your daughter. It's like, your daughter did this.
That's funny.
Like I said, maybe one day we'll meet. Maybe one day we'll talk things out. Maybe one day you tell me the whole truth of what happened to you, what you had in your mind. But as of now, I'm not afraid, because I just have to take a stand for myself, for men. And like you guys said, things like this sometimes need to be exposed, even though it's discreet. I'm trying to be discreet as possible with the respect I have for this individual. All right, guys, close it off if you guys want final words.
All right, Mad Cat, you want to do your shilling?
Yes, I do. First off,
I'm a tool. I'm a tool. I'm a tool, an unbelievably annoying tool.
Okay, there you go.
I had to find a good place for that. It seemed like a good, for shilling.
By the way, the reason why I'm using glasses, for you guys to know, I think I told Chris that, is because I thought I was going blind or some crap, or my vision was getting worse. But doctor actually told me, because of deep depression that I went through, he actually damaged my eyesight.
Wow.
How bad it was.
Crazy.
I was sweating cold. My body odor was this weird smell. Well, it wasn't stinky, but it was like a weird smell.
Wow. That's
Taking in my bed, had to go up the next morning, and My family
It's
was
crazy how
either,
much mental
upper-
stuff can cause physical stuff. Like,
oh yeah, you can look it up right now. Depression can cause damage in your eyesight.
wow, that's insane.
Well, and
Yeah.
something I often talk about, and this wasn't a direct result of depression, but kind of a side effect, is my teeth got
Could be.
destroyed because I was just so depressed I didn't care anymore. So I just stopped being hygienic, and my teeth suffered as a result. So
Right. So you know that he can do it. You know that he can detriment. And maybe, like I said, the other individual, you know, maybe she went through some stuff like this too. And I don't know. Maybe she went through a lot of, because I know she went a lot of anxiety and stress because I don't want to say the issues she's going through. I promised her to hold privacy. Maybe if you guys talk to her, she'll tell you. But she's going through some stuff on the physical nature as well. And that has racked her with anxiety and depression as well. So we kind of like in the polar opposite kind of things here. Going through similar things, but in different sides. And the way we're pursuing these things are kind of like two different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The coping mechanism.
Let me go ahead and show because we do need to get off of here.
Go ahead.
If any of you have made it to the end, then you get to hear about my wonderful shilling, although most of you just stop after 20 minutes. So check out the description box below. You're going to find my Patreon. Yes, I know Patreon's evil, but I'm not important enough for Patreon to give a shit of what I do, and I get only like $30 a month anyways. So, but I do have a Patreon there. I'm trying to save up money so I can take care of some day-to-day stuff. That $30 goes a long way, but also to get medical insurance so I can try to get some sort of treatment for my disability.
Right.
Now, Patreon these days is not very popular, so if you don't want to do that, I also have my PayPal link down below. Consider just sending me the money directly. I'd appreciate that. If you don't want to do either of those options, another way you can help me is checking out my book down below, How to Destroy a Woman Now. This book was made in response to another book, How to Destroy a Man Now, which should never have been published because it tells you to do things that are illegal, like falsifying a police report, like calling the police on someone, or creating fake news websites to harass someone with. Jeez. So I wrote my book that basically says don't do any of the things listed in this book, but I'm hoping that people get angry with it and Amazon is forced to take it down so we can get the other one taken down. So you buying that helps me with that goal, and I get a little bit of money out of it. So, and Modern Medusa's on the cover.
Right.
Oh, that's
exactly. If you needed another reason. So yeah, definitely check out all that good stuff. And don't forget to follow both of us on the social medias. If you do want to be on one of our next shows, or if you want us to talk about something, email me or email us at helpmemacho@gmail.com, or just message us on Twitter. All my stuff is down below. You can help me with doing the arts and my back. I don't know if everyone knows, but I got some back problems. I haven't been to the chiropractor since like earlier this year. But yeah, so anything always helps out. I don't have Patreon anymore because they were assholes and decided to hold my patrons' money from me. And so yeah, I don't have that anymore, but PayPal, Venmo, if anybody wants me to get anything else that they can donate through, I'm happy to oblige. But yeah, besides that, follow me on all the social medias and stuff, and check out next week's episode of the Macho Show.
Yeah. Also, a quick shout out. I will be reposting this on Sunday. I didn't do it last Sunday. I apologize. It was a Christmas season. But I will be posting this on Sunday. So if you missed any of this, watch it on my channel, and I'll be in the chat if you want to chat.
Yep. Most definitely, guys.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Thiago, for joining us. We will see you guys
offline.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week.